Welcome to the Kingdom Culture Podcast that was created on purpose with a purpose to empower, uplift, and guide others to the center of God's perfect will. Kingdom Culture family, welcome back to the Kingdom Culture Podcast. I hope everybody's been having a great week. This week, I want to talk about how reframing your thinking and taking immediate action leads to you actually being able to take control of your life. If you've been following along with my podcast, then you know that we lost my mother-in-law, and that's been a big shift for us. And so for me, the biggest thing that I realized is that I don't ever want to be away from my family ever again. My son and my husband are still in Puerto Rico. I've been by myself for almost a month, and I miss them so much. It hurts, really. And so instead of like sitting here and taking on a victim mentality, I told myself, what do I need to get rid of? What sprinkling do I have to do in my mind and my environment to make sure that I'm taking the necessary actions to get me closer to the life that I want to live, right? So there's 6 steps that I've been going through, so I thought it'd be cool to share it on the podcast. So step 1, awareness. So as we know, if you can't change something you're not aware of. So you have to become aware of the things that, are holding you back, the beliefs that you have that are holding you back, the thoughts that are holding you back, the habits that are holding you back, the people that are holding you back, your environment. All of these things are very important because it makes up your life. You might not think about it, but the smallest of things is what makes up our life. So what do you need to change? What are the things that are keeping you from leveling up and going after the life that you want, right? So, you must first recognize thoughts and beliefs that no longer serve you. Take a moment to reflect on the patterns of thinking that may be holding you back as well or causing you distress. Awareness is the key that unlocks the door to personal transformation. Again, you can't change what you're not aware of. So sit down, journal it, write it down. I always say that, writing stuff down really helps us process. It's like math, right? I don't know, like in school, when they would give us a big math problem, we'd have to actually show our work, right? So just like this is your life, this is you. Why wouldn't you take all of this that's going on in your head and put it down on paper and make a plan and try to reflect and actually change it, right? So step 2, reflection. Once you've identified the thoughts and beliefs, it's time to reflect on the origins and impact. Why do you hold on to them? How have those thoughts and actions influenced your life in the past? Because if we dive into the root causes of things, that's where it actually starts to change. Because you can say like, oh yeah, maybe I just had this negative thought today. But where is it coming from? How was your environment growing up? Is that the truth? Start thinking about those things. Where did that first belief come from? Where did you hear that you were not good enough? Where did you hear that you were not smart enough? Where did you hear that you didn't have all the resources? Right? Where did you start to hear like, oh no, you're never going to be somebody in life? Right? Because the root causes of most things for me is that I thought that I was never going to be good enough, or that I was never going to have enough. And so for a long time, I went through my life in chaos, trying to make things just work and push through. And now that I'm actually sitting and reflecting and seeing like, okay, what beliefs do I have that are no longer my truth, and removing them and reframing them, I've been able to feel more joy, more present, and enjoy what I'm doing for my life, right? So step 2, reflection. Step 3, challenge those thoughts or beliefs. So start questioning your existing thoughts and beliefs. Are they based on reality? Or are they simply assumptions or ingrained patterns? Again, this comes back to how you grew up. You might not think about it, but the environment that you grew up, the words that you grew up hearing, the way that people showed up for you, that's all ingrained. And those are the beliefs that you have been carrying until this moment because you haven't sat down and really thought about where the root is from and where they came from. So start challenging your beliefs. Start challenging your thoughts. It was really cool because my mindset mentor is the one that taught me about this. And he's like, hey, when you have a negative thought or a thought that, might not be true. Why don't you challenge it? And so I said, okay, cool. So what do I need to challenge in my life? One was I thought I was never going to be loved. 2, I thought I was never going to be enough. 3, I thought that, my son was not going to be taken care of. And that's not true. Because I don't do everything in my own strength. Like you guys know, I'm a woman of faith. And the Lord gives me everything that I need when I need it exactly. My son, I know I have to take the action and I have to grind and do the work. But God still got him. And that's my new truth. So start challenging where your thoughts are coming from. Start challenging where your beliefs are coming from. And that's where you find the roots of things and you start to change, right? Step 4, right? Once you recognize, once you're aware, and once you start challenging and, start your reflection, you have to replace what you're removing, right? You have to replace the lies. You have to replace the limiting beliefs. You have to replace the things that are no longer serving you. So, with a newfound understanding of your beliefs, it's time to replace the negative or limiting ones with positive and empowering alternatives. Consciously choose to adopt new perspectives that align with your goals and values. Remember, you have the power to reshape your reality. This was the biggest thing that I ever learned. I have the power to reshape my reality. I have the power to choose every day if I'm going to do action A or B to get me closer to my goals. Am I going to sleep in or am I going to get up early to get my morning routine done? Am I going to sleep in or am I going to get up early to work out? Am I going to spend time on Netflix or am I going to actually read a book or get on YouTube and learn something? Am I going to spend time scrolling or am I actually going to make content for the people that I want to bring value to? Reshape your reality. Am I going to take a victim mindset? Or am I going to take my truth and say, what is this teaching me? Every moment in my life is a lesson. And that is the biggest thing that I've yet to learn on this journey of 4 years. I can take my thinking and I can choose to make it positive and learn something. I'm not enough? Why do I feel like that? Oh yeah, you know what? My parents didn't show up for me. Cool. That's the root. But that's not the truth. God chose me. I am wonderfully and beautifully made. And I am made for such a time as this. That's my truth. Every morning I get up, I pray, I take time to just sit and be present. And then I journal through what I think I need to focus on that day. The truths that I'm trying to now change, bring into my life and make them a reality. It's a process, and you have to have, patience, and you have to be aware of the things that you're trying to change. So again, you have the power to reshape your reality. That's what I want you guys to cling on to, okay? Step 5, obviously, is practice. So you're not gonna get it at the first time that you do something. You're not gonna be like, okay, cool, I'm cool, I'm healed. I only had to say it once. Nope. It's every day until you can actually say, like, yep, that's my new truth. That's my new identity. This is who I've always, was meant to be. Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes progress. Consistently reinforcing your new beliefs through daily affirmations, visualization, or engaging in activities that align with your new values and goals allows you to solidify your commitment to change. And this makes the way for lasting transformation. Again, because for the longest time, you were not aware of your limiting beliefs. You were not aware of the environment that you needed to change. You were not aware of the people that were bringing you down. You were not aware of the habits that you had that no longer serve you. For me, I could say like, oh yeah, for 29 years I've been like this. I'm not going to change. But in reality, you can change. You can change your reality. You can choose to reframe your whole life. I think that's so cool. So, practice, practice, practice. And then step 6, take immediate action. I kid you guys not, this is the most important step. It's the last step, but it's the most important because for the longest time, I told myself, like, oh yeah, I'm going to get into self-development. Yep, I'm going to stop drinking. Yep, I'm going to stop just doing the things that are no longer serve me. And I never did it. Why? Because I didn't have a clear, a clear view of what I wanted to, and needed to change. I just kept saying, yep, I'm cool. Oh, I'm doing it. Yeah, I'll get there. And years passed until finally I was like, nope, you know what? Enough. I know that I can change my reality, and I'm doing that still today, because this is going to be an ongoing process. But you had to take the immediate action. I always tell everybody, I'm like, I'm not going to be the one that takes the action for you. I'm just giving you tips and helping you so that you, through my journey, through how I'm learning and growing, you can actually take some of this stuff and do it for yourself. But nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody else is going to get up in the morning and do what you have to do. Nobody else is going to change the habits that you have. Nobody else is going to have the dream that you have. So it's all up to you. It doesn't matter what you do on closed doors, unless, it's actually the things that you promised yourself you were going to do. Because we can be out in social media and all this stuff and like flash and be like, yep, I'm doing it. And in the background, you're not doing anything. So I told myself, I'm like, every single time I have something to do, I'm going to promise myself to show up for it 100% and take the action like this. Because every day you postpone and procrastinate making these changes, the more you increase the odds of never doing it. Commit to taking small steps forward each day. No matter how daunting the journey may seem, remember, progress, not perfection, is the goal. Think about that. Every day that you still say no is the more accurate that you make it, that you're not going to change. Why would you go on with your life if you already know that how you're living now is not what you want? I know it could be overwhelming, but I want to encourage you to take small steps. Start small. Start with one thing, right? For me, when I first started, I really wanted to change the way that I spoke because I used to say a lot of bad words and it just wasn't for me. So I told myself, I'm like, okay, cool. Every time that I say a bad word, I'm going to do this. And I did it. And now I try my hardest to not say a bad word. And it's been years and my friends are still shocked that I don't talk like I used to. But it's possible. You can reframe your thinking, your beliefs, your habits, your life. You can do so much. The Lord created us to be creative and have passions and have big dreams and have big faith because He will provide for everything. So I want to encourage you, take these 6 steps and start the journey because it's so worth it, right? Like I said, unlocking personal change through shifting your thinking and beliefs and taking immediate action is where you're going to see the difference and allow yourself to actually go after the life that you want. Why wouldn't you want to live the best life you can? Happy, content, joyful. Imagine waking up every day and taking the small steps. 4 or 5 years down the road, it's just like drinking water or riding a bike, right? Because you have reshifted and changed your perspectives on everything in your life. And you are now walking into that person that you were always meant to be. Right? And as always, I leave you guys with a Bible verse. Now, we're talking about, changing our mindsets and our thinking and taking immediate action. So I found Romans 12:2, and it says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will." This verse emphasizes the importance of renewing your mind and not conforming to the ways of the world. It highlights the transformative power of changing your thinking and beliefs, ultimately leading to a deeper understanding of God's will for your life. God made us to be thinkers, creatives, to go out and change the world. So I want to encourage you to start that journey and allow yourself to know that you are enough, you are loved, and you have everything you need in front of you. Don't let fear win. Don't let your limiting beliefs win, because you were made for a time like this, for big things. Anyway, if you guys found some value in this podcast, please share it. Put it on your Instagram stories. Pass it along to a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And I appreciate you guys so, so much. Don't forget that I love you, but that the Lord loves you more. Always, always, always. And we will see you guys next week.